Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, good evening everyone to what is, I believe, a first for Congregation Kol Ami, our first live stream service here live from the sanctuary at All Souls at 45th and Walnut. With that in mind, let me say a couple of things. One, we're still missing you all. We miss being together in physical space, but we know, God willing, the time will come again when we will get to be in physical space together and we will celebrate for sure. But in the meantime, we are trying to stay connected, to give you a variety of opportunities to be connected, either over prayer and or study and other opportunities as well. And so you'll know that about this live streaming event that we're still learning. This is our first one. And there may be some hiccups along the way, but as we go, we will learn more and we will do better each time that we do this. We are still the informal congregation Kol Ami we always were. So we want you to keep that in mind as well. This may be a little more formal than a Zoom meeting, but hey, it's still us. I'm going to announce page numbers from our Traveler's Edition of Mishkan Tefillah, the little purple book. If you have Mishkan Tefillah, it's great. If not, I will say a couple of things. One, you can always order it online. Or email me sometime soon and we can arrange for you to get a copy if you can't access one yourself. But in the meantime, I will go ahead and announce page numbers and prayers that we are about to do. Feel free to do what you can do at home and join with us. So when we're lighting Shabbos candles, if you've got Shabbos candles to light, please go ahead and do it. We will have Kaddish and Motzi at the end of the service. And one last thing, the choreography may be a little different. That is due mostly to our efforts to practice social distancing, which we are doing here. We are not sitting right next to each other like we normally would. So just don't get thrown off if things don't happen quite the way they do when we're together. And with that, we are going to begin our service with an opening song.
On page 78, at the end of Psalm 150, Kol Hanshama, may everything that has breath praise God.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, Kol Hanshama, Hallelujah, hallelujah.
service continues with lighting Shabbat candles, for which you'll find the blessing on page 224.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
So usually at this point in the service, I talk about catching our breath, taking a moment to lose ourselves from the tumult of the week, the challenges of the week, and to hold on to what was good, and then take a moment for silent meditation, which we're going to do in a moment. But I think more so than just the week, but the chaos and tumult of the times, I would say, let's try, and at least for this brief moment for Shabbat, to give ourselves the rest we need to move forward again in the week ahead, to take this time out. And so I ask you to let go of that chaos and that tumult in our lives. Hold on to what was good, think about what is good, and take a moment for silent meditation. We will continue our service now. The Chatzi Kaddish on page 22 will lead us into the Baruch Hu on page 24, and those who wish may rise.
Yitkadav v'yitkadosh Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Debra hirutei Ve'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'b'yom echad u'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Bagala u'bizman kariv v'imru Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alana me'amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yiramat v'yitnaseh v'yithodar v'yitaleh v'yitala Shemei Kodashah
Brechu.
Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush v'chata v'nechemata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
Those who are standing may be seated. Continue the bottom half of page 27. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us, shall we draw back or shall we cross over? El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimlok Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hamahari V'Aravim. Top of page 29. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. V'aftecha la teser mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema, page 30.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Hafta, page 32.
Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Continue the middle of page 35. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered at Sinai. We bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea, the song of redemption, Shirat Hayam, the song at the sea, Mi Chamocha, page 36.
Netar bakote
V'nehemar kifad Adonai Yaakov, Gdula mirazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Middle of page 39. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over Yerushalayim and yours. Ushmor tzeiteinu v'yom shalom v'atavi adolam, Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Prayer to instruct us to keep and guard the precious gift of Shabbat, V'shamru, page 40.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam b'rit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam b'rit olam.
Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam b'rit olam. Uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam b'rit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam b'rit olam.
The meditation on page 130 will lead us into the Amidah beginning on page 132. Amidah from Amad, to stand, the standing prayer, the central part of any of our worship services. Those who wish to do so may rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Norah, Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mivii Gula Lifnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah.
Page 134.
Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei metim atara v'hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechaker chayim b'chesed, Mechayei metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha b'gevurot, Umito melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiya Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lechayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hametim.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God, Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. We complete the remainder of the Amidah individually. I have the words on the page from 140 through 153, or the words that are in your heart this Shabbat.
At the bottom of 286, O guide my steps. O guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. And help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Uvros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha
my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps.
Continue now with our Torah service, page 196.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai Yerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, L'amo Yisrael, Bekedushato.
198.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu Adonai iti, v'neramama shemo yachdav.
Lecha Adonai hagedula, v'hagevura, v'hatiferet, v'hanetzach v'hador. Ki ho b'shamayim u'va'aretz, ki ho b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, v'minaseh lechol l'rosh.
So this week's Torah portion is Parashat Shalach Lecha. It's really the sending of agents or emissaries, or in this case, spies. We are in the book of Bamidbar, also known as the book of Numbers. Bamidbar not meaning numbers, but rather in the wilderness. Usually I can start one of these with a good snappy one-liner, but with looking out on a sea full of empty seats, my odds of getting a laugh have dropped dramatically. So I am going to keep it to myself tonight and dive right in. So we've got 12 spies who are sent to scout the land being the land of Israel. 10 come back with a negative report, saying things like, "We look like grasshoppers" in their eyes. But 2 of the spies, Caleb and Joshua, come back with a positive report. So the way we look at this and the way the responses come down, we see 2 different advents of time that we are in now that speak to both the negative and the positive in this story. But in both instances, the core issue is the issue of doubt. And what Ellen Davis describes as actually the sin of doubt. And this can play out in the doubt that comes with questioning on how others may or not respond to us in a given situation. And this can also present itself as simply self-doubt, letting our fears keep us from responding in the moment. And as Ellen Davis says, this will end up being the seminal moment in the wilderness, in which the generation that was born of slavery in Egypt would, by their doubt, end up dying in the wilderness. They would not enter the land. Rabbi Camille Shura Angel writes in her essay on this week's Torah portion in the commentary work Torah Queries about the spy Caleb. She refers to Caleb as a ruach acheret, a different soul. It was his sense of hope, pride, and faith in himself that was a strong foundation for giving a positive report, and a report in opposite to the other 10 spies. It would be the other 10 spies who would lead the earlier generation of Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, to the fateful sense of doubt which gave expression in the desire to return to a life of slavery in Egypt versus facing their doubts by entering the land. Rabbi Angel analogizes the spy story to the effect of the historical and deeply embedded negative messages of homophobia, transphobia, and heterosexism. Rabbi Angel sees a message in Caleb as a ruach acheret, a different spirit, as so meaningful, that Caleb's assertion of self amidst a sea of negativity is not just given reward, but in the case of this story, divine reward. Angel exhorts the queer community to take this message to heart, that everyone should be their own person, to be who they are and who God created them to be. I mention this as we celebrate, honor, and memorialize on this particular Shabbat. We celebrate and honor Gay Pride Month, and particularly as health challenges kept me from participating in our kickoff to Gay Pride Month last Shabbat, when we were able to hear our speaker, Stephen Eisel from Promo, so I felt a little cheated by not being able to be a part of the service, so I wanted to say something about the month this Shabbat. But I also want to recognize that today, on a more somber note, is the 4th anniversary of the Pulse Queer nightclub shootings. 49 people killed and 53 wounded. 2 days after the shooting, I found myself downtown here in Kansas City with the Heartland Men's Chorus speaking on this tragic event as part of a vigil for those who had died in Orlando. And thinking of that reminds us that for whatever progress has been made, there is still much to be done. So this is the positive response in the story, and then there's the negative response of the 10 spies, which also provides a lesson for today. The spies cannot see beyond their own fears and the perceptions of themselves as small. In so doing, they repudiate their sense of peoplehood, their obligation to Bnei Israel. The great commentator Nachmanides described it as a form of idolatry, to be subsumed by your own self-doubt that would lead to violating our covenant with God. To do so in the eyes of Nachmanides is to rebel against God, and indeed Ellen Davis connects the sin of doubt to the sin of idolatry and ingratitude, ignoring all that God had done for the people to be redeemed from bondage and to live under God's protection in the wilderness. All that had led them to this point seemed to be forgotten, and their fear and self-doubt took over. Recently, in response to the murder of George Floyd, I have heard people in the white community be rendered inactive out of the same sense of doubt. There is a fear of how they will be perceived in the black community, and there's also a fear that comes with the discomfort of being in unfamiliar space. At this moment, we cannot allow our fear and doubt to keep us from responding in this moment, this particular moment in history. After 400 years of racism, we have a chance to change this long, shameful trajectory, to put an end to systemic racism. As Jews, we cannot look back on this moment and say that we failed to act. There are many ways to act, large ways and small, all are valid, but mostly we can let the black community know that we are there for them in this moment. Kain Yehi Ratzon, may that be God's will. We will begin chanting Torah, first with the Torah blessings on page 200.
Baruchu et Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני, נותן התורה.
Amen. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, שלח אנשים, ויתורו את ארץ כנען, אשר אני נותן לבני ישראל, איש אחד, למטה אבותיו, תשלחו כל נשיא בהם. וישלח Vishlach otam Moshe mimidbar paran al pi Adonai kulam anashim rash b'nei Yisrael haima.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. It's the point in our service when we think about those who can't be part of community due to illness. We wish them refuah shlema, rufat hanefesh, rufat haguf, a complete healing, a healing of the spirit and the body. On the top of page 203 is the Mishaberach prayer. I'll ask you to, on your own, to think of names of those who are in need of a blessing of healing as we sing the Mishaberach prayer together.
Strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Continue on the bottom of page 203 as the Torah is wrapped, V'zot HaTorah.
V'zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe b'fnei b'nei Yisrael, al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la.
We say our Torah is an Eitz Chaim, a tree of life. Ki lekach tov leads us into Eitz Chaim, page 206.
Ki lekach tov natati lachem Torati al tazovu Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tochecha me'ushar debrachecha darchenu v'chol netivotecha shalom avshivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Hadesh Yamenu Hadesh Yamenu 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 Kekedem.
Continue with prayer for a better world, Aleinu, page 214.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגאי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעון, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד.
Middle of 216.
ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
We can't get the names of those who might be observing a yortzeit. We keep them in our hearts this Shabbat, and all those who've died of COVID-19. Mourners Kaddish, Kaddish Yatom, page 221. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, Bagala v'zman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam l'mei omaya. Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha brichu le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say,
Amen.
some announcements before we do Kiddush and Motzi and let everybody enjoy their Shabbos dinner. First, thank yous, and these thank yous are more so than usual, I would say. We're always in gratitude to those who do so much for our community, but to get to this point tonight took so much extra effort. We thank our musicians, Brendan Howard on guitar and vocals, Karen Ingebertson on on piano and vocals, and our music director, Laura Steinell. But just to say, our music director, Laura Steinell, isn't enough because Laura was the one principally involved on Kol Ami's side in getting this whole live stream thing put together. It took an enormous amount of time, of energy, of heart, and we're grateful for all you do to keep us connected, to keep us as a Kol Ami community. The other person from Kol Ami who deserves enormous thanks is Jerry Nevins, who was our consultant for this live stream project, but has done so much over the past few months to improve our communication, to keep us connected with each other. And we are so grateful for it, because in a difficult, challenging time, again, that is much of what preserves community, is just the ability to communicate with each other. There are others to thank. Our dear, valued friends here at All Souls, a relationship that's gone back to 2012, and they keep doing more and more and more, and we are more and more grateful as time goes on. Here with us tonight are Mark Gibbons, our technical director for live streaming, and Luke Teston, the audiovisual engineer. In addition, we thank Anthony Edwards, the director of music and worship arts here at All Souls, who did so much to make this happen for us. My friend and colleague, Reverend Dr. Kendall Gibbons, whose generosity of spirit and heart I know it's a gift to Congregation Kol Ami, it's a gift to All Souls, and it's a gift to the Kansas City community. And finally, our constant contact, Charles Dickinson, the facilities manager here at All Souls, and also at Simpson House across the way, a spot that is near and dear to my heart. Coming up next week, officially we are scheduled for Shabbat worship and study at 9:30, followed by Shabbat worship approximately at 10:30, depends how long we study together. That will not be a live stream, it'll be a Zoom event. I'll be doing that back from home next Saturday morning. The next live stream, I think that Friday is June 26th, that we'll be doing it live stream again. But another worship opportunity, a couple I want to announce. One that we just got wind of yesterday, there is going to be, in response to all that has happened in the last couple of weeks with the death of George Floyd and this incredible new sense of activism and a movement that's going on in our country and in the world, there will be what is referred to as prayer on truce. Starting at 7 o'clock next Friday night, people are lining up on the east side of Troost along a 10-mile stretch to engage in an hour of prayer for these times we're in. And if you will email me, and if you have an interest, we'll put a Kol Ami group together to do prayer on truce. And I'm thinking we will line up on truce somewhere not too far from the Mannheim Community Garden, somewhere, I would say, around 43rd and Troost. But let me know if you're interested, and if we have a group for that purpose. This could be very meaningful worship for us, and would welcome the opportunity. I'll look at our wonderful musicians and ask, am I missing anything else? Any other announcements? Anything coming up? Okay. Is there a closing song? There's not a closing song tonight. The closing is Kaddish and Motzi. The Kaddish can be found starting with Vayachulu on 231. Here Ve'yivoker Yom HaShishi. Vayachulu Hashamayim Ve'aretz V'chol Tzevam. Vayachol Elohim Bayom HaShvihi. Malakto asher asa, vayishbot bayom hashvi, mikol malakto asher asa, vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi, vayakadesh oto, ki hivo Shabbat mikol malakto asher bara Elohim lasod. Page 232. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava ratzon hinkilanu Zikaron l'masei v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikrahei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol Shabbat Kodesh v'chaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Baruch
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
To all, we all say from here to you in your homes, Shabbat Shalom, a good Shabbos. Enjoy your Shabbat. Take time to enjoy your Shabbat. And above all, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all and look forward to being together the next time. A good Shabbos and a good night.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.